Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture video. In this video, we are going to see different types of formal letters and how to write them and an example for each of the letters. So first one is acknowledgement letter. So acknowledgement letter is a formal letter. It is a kind of receipt which confirms the reception of a particular document. Take for example, this acknowledgement letter is often exchanged between the business people. So between organizations. Take for example, if an employee sends a resume or CV to apply for a job to an employer, then the employer has to acknowledge the employee by sending a letter. The letter could be sent via mail or by post. Okay, but most of the companies don't do that when they receive the job. But take for example, if you are sending a complaint letter or if you are sending an inquiry letter, then immediately the acknowledgement letter must be sent. Take for example, if you are sending a letter of inquiry to ask about a particular product, then the company has to send you that we have received your inquiry mail on this particular product. So then they have to go forward. That letter is called acknowledgement letter. It is a necessary document which has to be kept saved for future purpose as well. This acknowledgement letter could be of different types, such as it could be sent via it could be a document, or while receiving a document for a business or for a project or for a resignation letter. It could be anything. So it is based on the situation for which we acknowledge a person for receiving a document, detail, or sometimes even when we have received the product. So the acknowledgement letter differs according to the situation of the context. And then here we have an acknowledgement letter format. First, in the acknowledgement letter, we have to give the name, date, and then name of the purchaser, okay, or name of the person from whom you received a letter of inquiry, promotion, or whatever, and then the address of the purchaser or the person who sent the letter, and then the attention line. The attention line is mentioned with the name, okay, and then subject of acknowledgement, for example, promotion or leave or any inquiry. Okay, dear sir or madam, then acknowledge that this letter is to acknowledge the receipt of your inquiry letter of the particular product. We have received the letter in a good condition and appreciate you for such a response. Okay, you will be informed for the further steps taken by the respective department, either in mail or by post. I would like you to request to keep patient till then. So this is the acknowledgement letter, and then sincerely. So this is a basic format. So if it differs according to the company and according to the seriousness of the problem. Next comes inquiry letter. It is a letter written to inquire the information related to a particular product or the service of a particular company. It can be written if a person wants to buy a particular item, wants to take a trip or something, whatever. The objective of inquiry letter is to make a request, polite and formal request to the recipient. In other words, it's a written letter to get a response from the recipient with an action that satisfies the inquiry. If the action benefits either the sender or the recipient, and sometimes both the parties. The scope of the letter must include enough information to help the recipient to decide the best response. The sender must mention what is the necessity of this inquiry and which type of favor whether the person needs, and everything must be included in the inquiry letter. So an inquiry letter must be in detail as much as possible so that it can get the best response from the recipient company. Take for example, if you are inquiring about a particular model of a car, then you have to ask all your doubts in detail so that the recipient can answer you better in order to satisfy all your queries. So both of the parties must be equally responsible to ask the right question and to give the right response. Then only an inquiry letter must be an effective one. And this is the sample for an inquiry letter. Uh, the name of the sender and to whom, sender address, and then the receiver address, and then comes the subject and the salutation. I am Ramal Verma writing this letter to you regarding the car exchange scheme. I saw your advertisement for an exchange of old cars in Dengbar today. I am interested in exchanging my old car to get a new offered car through the exchange scheme. So please explain to me more about the scheme and its terms and conditions. Please contact me to the above given mobile number, and can also email me at the following address. So this is the format of it. This is a simple one. So this is the format of an inquiry letter. So here the sender is asking for the scheme and policy of a exchange advertised by the company. Now, next comes the recommendation letter. In recommendation letter, a recommendation letter are written in two circumstances. One is for the student, and the other one is for an employer. When a student applying for an university or a grade school or when he or she is applying for scholarship, almost all university and scholarship programs require at least two recommendation letters as part of their application process. So these references letters should be ideally written by previous teachers or professors who are familiar with the academic achievements and abilities of the students. So these recommendation letters are needed for a student to move further ahead in his career or in his studies, or by an employer, okay, to the employee. People applying for jobs that require strong references. Take for example, for most job applicants, a well-written resume and cover letter is enough. But sometimes certain industry, they always recommend recommendation letter. However, certain industries or companies may require a recommendation letter in addition to these basic essentials. Teachers and physician assistants are two such examples of the job that often need a written reference as a part of the application. So here is the recommendation letter for a teacher colleague. Okay, here the date comes along with the whomever it may concern. Okay, so here we don't have any letterhead or something like that. It's my absolute pleasure to recommend Mr. Quinta for an particular post. Okay, and so here comes whatever the necessity that you have to add. At the end, please do not hesitate to get in touch with me. You should for any further inquiries. Then yours sincerely, and then comes the letterhead at the end of the letter. Next comes the sales letter. Sales letter, when we write sales letter, it must be given enough focus and attention so that it achieves our objectives. Writing a sales letter is a way to directly reach customers. Sales letters require certain elements that help convince a customer to invest in a particular product or service. Sales letters must be personal and informal in their tone to invite readers or to discover more about an offer. So when they feel very close, the customer tend to read more, they are gonna take service. So it is very essential to address personally. The tone must be informal and personal. A sales letter is a written pitch to attract potential customers to a particular product or service. The goal of a sales letter is to show customer how your business will benefit them. When a customer thinks about Thank you for listening to this lecture video. Let's see the continuation of sales letter and the other types of formal letters in the next video. Thank you so much.